Governor Polis delivered his 6th State of the State address today. Housing was a big focus, and the governor says Colorado simply needs more affordable options.
Denver 7's Brandon Richards sat down with the governor this afternoon after that speech was given to ask about his plans on housing and other issues.
Well, you know, the governor tried last year to push through a major bill on housing, but that went nowhere. It failed, and so the governor and Democrats are going to try again this year. And while the governor spoke about a lot of topics during his State of the State, he made no mention of a crisis the state's largest city is dealing with. In his State of the State Thursday, Governor Jared Polis outlined the major challenges facing Colorado and his vision for addressing them.
That everywhere in our state, the top issue is housing costs.
He called on lawmakers to reduce housing costs and increase affordable housing options, including their transit stops. A bill he pushed for last year that supporters say would have created more affordable housing failed to win enough support amid concerns it would give the state too much power over local zoning. I know some local governments had some concerns with that proposal last year. Don't you think they'll have those same concerns this year?
Well, look, we have, mayors, city council people that support it, mayor, city council people that oppose it. I mean, I think many people want to be at the table to help figure this out.
On public safety, he said laws approved last year are helping to reduce crime. The governor addressed many issues in his speech, but stayed away from a crisis crippling the state's largest city. Earlier this week, Denver's mayor said the city had run out of space for migrants and asked city departments to begin looking at what they could cut in their budgets.
You did not mention the migrant crisis that Denver in particular has been going through. Kind of curious, what's the state's role in this crisis? What's the state's responsibility?
Yeah, so obviously for my speech, I tried to focus on issues that brought everybody together. Yes, is Denver dealing with a migrant crisis? It is, and we want to help where we can as a state.
The governor says the state has provided $5 million in emergency funding to help cities deal with the crisis, but says the blame lies with the federal government.
It's the federal government's responsibility, which is why a lot of our focus is in asking for the federal government to finally secure the border, reform and improve the asylum process, and provide support to interior states that are dealing with the lack of the federal government's ability to secure the border.
The governor also called for a reduction in the state income tax, but I noticed that many people in his party did not stand up. They did not applaud that. It's an idea they really don't like. One Democratic lawmaker told me it's something they will have to have a robust conversation about. So we'll see what happens there.
All right, it'll be interesting how he navigates that issue, Brandon. Thank you. And today, Governor Polis took time during the State of the State to address anti-Semitism and Islamophobia in the wake of the war in Gaza.
Between October 7th and January 7th, the Anti-Defamation League recorded a 360% increase in anti-Semitic incidents nationwide. The rise in anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, and hate in all of its forms is simply unacceptable in the state of Colorado.
At the same time as Polis' speech, protesters gathered outside the state capitol calling for a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war. We spoke with people there about what they want to see from Colorado lawmakers.
I believe it's important that our governor, who's been calling for the support of the state of Israel, he needs to call out the fact that right now there's a genocide happening in Palestine against the people of Gaza.
We took those concerns to Polis during a one-on-one interview with the governor after the address. Polis would not give a direct response to the calls for a ceasefire, but did agree on the right to protest.
There's always a robust environment of free speech down here at the state capitol in any given legislative session. As long as people are peaceful and non-threatening, then that's all part of the free speech that we enjoy as a state and as a country.